Hi, old guy in shed here. So, went out yesterday on the old Falcone, as you know, went up on the hill and had a beautiful time. And I said I was going to take the Cali out next, which I have been out. And I was going to do the whole filming thing out there. But this is the first time I've ever ridden this motorbike, ever. I bought it at the beginning of the lockdown and I did some tidying up on it and got it sorted out. I thought it was all tickety-boo, seems to run okay. But when I was riding it, every now and then it'd sort of cough and splutter and get a bit weird. It does have injection, so there are one or two issues. I don't know how old the fuel is particularly. The guy who I got it off said he'd been riding it, so it can't be that old. So anyway, I took it out. I don't like the style, never really have liked cruisers that much. Story behind getting it was eBay again. I was wandering around the internet and I clicked on it. It didn't seem like a lot of money for what it was. Called the wife, said, "Oh, what do you think of this?" She said, "Oh, that's lovely that. How much is it?" Told her, and she said, "Oh, get it. It's a good buy." And I was absolutely flabbergasted. I mean, when the boss says, "Well, just go ahead and buy it. You've just got to buy it, haven't you?" I mean, it just never happens. She said, my usual response when I show something on the screen is, "You're not having another bike." So anyway, that's how come I got this bike. When I sort of dug into it, I discovered that the actual bike itself, underneath the style and underneath the clothes, as it were, is a V7. It's the Tonti framed, well, derivative. It's a derivative of the Tonti. V7, the original V7 frame, which it handles beautifully. I've got to say, it does ride very, very well. Still not sure about this riding position. It's not a position I'm used to. I have I don't know, you can see it over the back there. I have a Moto Guzzi Norge 1200, which is a proper touring thing with the fairings, which was apparently designed in the Moto Guzzi world famous wind tunnel. For any of you that have ever sort of been on holiday and wanted to go on a trip with the destination of being interested in bikes, I can highly recommend the Moto Guzzi weekend. I believe it's the first weekend of every September. We went over there for the 95th birthday. It's the 100th in 2001. Sorry, 2021. Sorry, it's the 100th birthday in 2021. Love to go to that. It's a fabulous time. The whole town is Moto Guzzi. It is the most wonderful experience. And even if you don't like motorbikes, it's still an event worth going to, because it's just fun, and there's bands in the park, and there's food everywhere, and it's very Italian. It really is a wonderful, wonderful weekend to go out and just have a blast. And Lake Como the whole area around Lake Como is just picture postcard. I believe in the middle of Como, because it's like a Y shape, an inverted Y, and in the top sort of end of the peninsula, if you like, there's a town called Bellagio, and it's been voted one of the prettiest towns or most beautiful towns or something like that in Europe. So that wouldn't surprise me. And the place is just staggeringly good to go to, and the people are awesome, absolutely awesome. I could sit here and tell you tales about that factory trip, how great the factory people are, and how actually the whole bloody town, everybody there is sort of steeped in Moto Guzzi. I mean, as you know, I'm a bit of a fan of Moto Guzzi. I mean, I do have other machines. I've got a Benelli over there. I've got a Suzuki GT380, which are all great bikes. They're all, but I don't think any of them generate this whole town of people who are behind them, and I just really enjoy it. But anyway, back to this thing. Handles wonderfully, like I say. I can understand them. You know, you're riding down the road in it and you do feel like you're on the set of Chips, for those old enough to remember Chips. Very much a highway cruiser. I mean, it is built as a cruiser, so I kind of guess the giveaways in the name. Yeah, do I like it? Yeah, I kind of do. I need to ride it a bit more. I need to sort this little issue out with this stumbling in the engine before I do a proper video about the bike. And I don't want to talk about a bike that's not running properly. That's just bloody bonkers. And I think the reality is that it's a design that has been running for many, many years now. And the original ones, what they call the classic, a little bit flatter seat to it, is very, very nice. And the latest incarnation, which was designed by a guy called Miguel Guzzi, is it? Miguel Guzzi? He's famous for designing the Ducati Monster and the Aprilia RSV, the superbike thing. And he now works out of California, apparently, has a design company out there, and he is solely contracted to Piaggio Group. So he's been doing the Moto Guzzis, and his California, you can see all the history behind it. You can see he's taken all the design cues and kept the spirit of the bike in there. I actually had the pleasure of meeting him when I was over in Mandello del Aria. He was just wandering around the car park. And when I say the car park, I mean this is row after row after row. Like, there are a lot of Guzzis on that weekend. I believe the year we went, there was 25,000 bikes turned up in that magnitude. So there's a lot out there, and they are just so enthusiastic about the bikes. The one thing I will say about Guzzi ownership is you're not in for a quick trip, really. The Guzzi owners tend to keep them a long time. They are very, very reliable, and they just go and go and go. They're not powerful, they're not a sports bike, they never will be. But if you want to go somewhere in comfort and know you're going to get there and have something that talks to you, and it's about the trip, not the destination, you'd be hard pressed to beat a Guzzi. Really would be hard pressed to beat them. I mean, I have sort of viewed them in this way for some time. I mean, I flipped a lot of bikes over the years and had all different stuff, and oh, this is great, that's wonderful, isn't this good? But the Norge, for example, I've had for a good few years. I had the Breva before it, and I had that for a good few years. I mean, these are bikes that you can own for a long time. I think largely because they're such a simple device, you can work on them yourself. You know, you can do the work yourself. You don't need a dealership, which is a good thing because there's hardly any bloody dealerships. And that is their big failing, not having good dealerships. But the dealerships that are bloody good. They are very enthusiastic about the bike. And there's other companies that supply parts for Moto Guzzi. And I found when I've done things like, I did a Honda 750 a while ago, which is a nice enough bike. I bored of it extremely quickly. It just wasn't interesting, it wasn't engaging. You know, it got you from A to B, and that's about all you can bloody say from it. But that was harder to get parts for. And my Falcone, for God's sake, and you know how many you don't see of them on the road. So it's quite fascinating to see that the people who run around on Guzzis kind of get steeped in them a little bit. And people, there's still a bike you can put your stamp on. You can make this your own bike. Whereas an awful lot of the modern bikes, you can't, because the plastics don't fit, you know, whatever. So really speaking, if you're going to have a motorbike that talks to you and you want to be part of its heritage, if you like, or part of its following, again, you're hard pressed to beat Guzzi. They are a bit of a weird, I think they're an acquired taste. I think a lot of people would ride them and go, no, no good for me. And I think 90%, maybe more, 95% of Guzzi owners would go, yeah, fair play, you go ride what the hell you like, but I'm sticking with the Guzzi. And I think there's a lot of that with them. They're a very, like I say, engaging motorbike. You do engage with them very reasonably quickly. You can't hop on one for a go. If all you've ridden is multi-cylinder Japanese bikes, you jump on one of these and you think, why am I riding a tractor? You know, it takes a good, you have to have one for a week or two to sort of get into it and to understand it and appreciate what on earth they're bloody talking about. And that, in its own way, makes them a breed apart. As I say, the other kind of side to them, which I really sort of like, is the whole business of when you go around the factory, you realise they hand built these suckers. It's not a robot. These things are hand built by bunches of guys who actually like them, who like working there, who like where they live, who enjoy that whole business of producing this machine. For us, you know, so, and you kind of walk away with the feeling that, yeah, they're as enthusiastic as you. It's not just a job, it's a bit more than a job. And there's the one little story I can tell you, which I thought summed up the people in the place. We were in the engine part of the factory, and Jane, she said, oh, I need the load, there's some toilets here, I'll pop in it. I said, oh, there's a vending machine there, do you want a bottle of water? Yeah, great. So I went over there, put my money in, it fell out, put my money in, it fell out. A guy came over with a staff t-shirt, you know, and not speaking any real English, and I said, oh, the machine's not. He says, it's no problem. He opens the machine with the keys, takes 2 bottles of water out, gives them to me, and I went to give him the money. He says, no, it's okay. Thank you for coming. That's the difference. That's this magnificent difference with the Italians. They are happy that you're supporting them. Without us, they ain't got a job. And they appreciate you. And that's the feeling. I don't know if it's true, but that's the feeling I got. And I just think to myself, well, what a bunch of nice people. I went to Jane and I said, I got your bottle. I said, oh, how much was that? I said, it's free. The guy came along and just gave me the water. I know it's only water. I know it's not a big deal. But it shows you the attitude of the people who are making these bikes. So you kind of, the more you kind of get into them, the more you want to stay with them. I don't know whether I'll keep this big shiny one. I really don't. I really don't know when I'm going to keep the big shiny one. I think what I need to do is wait till September, because that's my usual time, my first couple of weeks of September. We go for our trips, our big long trips. And I might take it instead of the Norge. I don't know, I'm very, at this moment in time, very unsure. But it'd be interesting. My only problem with that will be that if it does a better job, or as good a job as the Norge, and Jane prefers it, why have I got the Norge? Why do I need 2 big Tory bikes? You don't, fast answer. What on earth would I replace either of them with? No idea at all. But like I say, at this moment in time, I've got no idea what my decisions are going to be. And I think, like somebody once said, sometimes having no plan is a good plan. You know, so who knows? Anyway, on that note, I will be bringing more about the actual riding of the damn thing. and we'll see how we get on with that. And I'll be back to you very soon. So this is the old guy in the shed, disappearing off again, I guess. Oh, you might wonder why I'm in the shed so much. Currently, because of the lockdown, what have you, as much as we've been together for 40 odd years, we do need our own space. And this is my space, and her space has curtains in, and it has carpet and stuff like that. Mine doesn't. It has motorbikes and tools and spanners and stuff like that, which I find a little bit more interesting, to be honest. So until next time, please press the share button. Not the share button, what the hell am I talking about? Share button. Hey, you can if you like. The other one, the like button. And subscribe maybe if you're not a subscriber already. That'd be really good, because apparently it helps keep things going along. And it certainly encourages me to continue this utter rubbish. I mean, like I say, it is only me blithering along. I'm not trying to convert anybody, I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. All I'm doing is offering my thoughts about how things are in my shed, because outside of this shed I'm kind of quietly not caring what goes on, so long as it's peaceful and calm in here. So, like I say, press the like button and the subscribe. Talk to you again. Bye now.